Hi guys, welcome to my video. So today's topic is about being healthy, getting healthier, and I have one technique that I have personally found to work the best. And it's not rocket science, we are all aware of it, but not a lot of us are onto it like we should be. So the number one way I believe that we can get healthier, and it's not the only way, it's combined with other things, is through moving. In other words, being active. So that includes things like exercise, etc. So I will talk more about that now, a bit later on. So, modern lifestyle. So a lot of you guys that might be watching might be from parts of the world that lead a busy modern lifestyle. And it's got its advantages, but there's a lot of things that's not healthy about the modern lifestyle, and we are paying for it today. There's more amount of illnesses, mental health issues than we've ever had before. And I believe, and a lot of experts around the world have already highlighted this, is one of the issues with the modern lifestyle is being too stationary, so being too inactive. So unlike the olden days, we rely more on cars. So for example, our grandparents or ancestors used to walk to work or work to shops or wherever. We get into the car. Even if it's something like a shop is 5 minutes down the road, we have a habit of getting into the car and driving 5 minutes. Okay, that wasn't the case a long time ago. That was not the case. But with the modern lifestyle, it's all about convenience. Okay, it's the lazy way. Okay, so we have become very inactive compared to the way we were, the way our grandparents lived. So, and that's causing a lot of health issues. And I do believe, and I'll do another video on this, the lack of activity or exercise, it also affects the mental health. So that's another video. But for today, number one technique that works for me and recognized by professionals is to be more active. So I've got some notes that I wrote down. So as with all my videos, I am going to talk about my own personal experiences, what works, what is working, but which is also backed by science, by research, studies, doctors, etc., as well as ancient wisdom as well. So ancient wisdom, and also I look at history, what the lifestyle, for example, in this topic, how the lifestyle of older generations, where they were healthier, and the reasons why. And I also look at, for a lot of my videos and just for my own general knowledge, I like to look at the studies of the blue zones. Okay, so before I get into the points, one of the key things I want to highlight with the blue zones, just a quick background, blue zones are countries around the world that have got the healthiest population. So they've got like the older, I believe, 100-year-olds, the most 100-year-olds, healthier, older generation compared to the rest of the population. So one thing, so for example, we've got places like Okinawa, Sardinia in Italy, and I'll talk about it I'll do a video on blue zones and on its own. So the point was that across these blue zones, across these countries, one of the factors why these older generations were so healthy was because they had an active lifestyle. So they're very active. I'm going to come back to this point about blue zone in another, as I go through the next point. So getting back to my story, my experiences. Okay. So I've always been fit and active, and that's something that I was always sporty. So it's always been my habit, my lifestyle. However, at the moment, I am going through a very serious illness, and I'm on a very serious treatment. So as part of the treatment, one of the side effects is if I am inactive for too long, if I sit down for too long, if I'm standing up for too long and I'm not moving, I get stiffness pain. So it's actually pushing me to move around. So I've always been active, but this is sort of an additional, how do I say, a blessing in disguise, because it's made me more aware of how I can move around more, even more, in a healthy way. So I will talk a bit more about it. So what I've done, for example, is I have bought a stand for my computer. So instead of sitting down for too long, I've got this stand where I'm standing and I'm sort of moving around my legs, etc. as well. And if you don't have access to things like that, where you are standing up and doing stuff on the computer, and this is something that a lot of companies talk about and have as part of their OHS training, you got to always take regular breaks, okay, and do some stretches. And I will do another video on that, but a lot of people should be aware of these stretches and breaks. So there itself as well. So since we're on the topic, at work, okay, when I say move, 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 I mean everything we do in life. So if you've got a job that is sitting down on the computer for 8 hours a day or more, and there's a lot of people in that. So again, just a quick background, I used to work as a business analyst for many, many, many years in the corporate world, where I am sitting down a lot. So I do have experience in that field and what works, what didn't work. Now, so going back, so regular breaks. So if you are in that job, if you are in that spending a lot of, if you are in that job, you spend a lot of your life, a lot of your time with that, in that space. So it is important that you move throughout the day. Okay, so that's for those that are in that sort of office corporate environment and are not moving around that much. Okay, so one of the modern issues we have is lack of time. Okay, so a lot of people complain, I don't have the time for extra exercise, I don't have the time for blah, blah, blah. Now, I've written a few ideas that you don't have to find extra time to do these things or activities with what you're already doing. Okay, so with the time you're already spending doing whatever you're doing. So, for example, I've already talked about the computer. You can work on the computer and move around your legs. So I had a friend that was stuck doing some overtime at work, didn't have time to exercise. So what she did was she worked on a tall building. So what she did was just take this office stairs, the internal stairs, up and down in between doing her work. Okay, so she didn't get out of the office, just the stairs, using the stairs, going up and down while she's doing stuff on the computer. So, and then what she used to also do was do some squats. Okay, so again, she has a bit of a private office. If you don't have privacy, that's you can do other things. So you can do some squats, you can do some lunges if you are having a bit of a private office. Okay, now daily walks. This is something I personally love doing, my daily walk. So again, if the weather's, it's dependent on the weather, but walking is one of the best gentle exercises or activities that we can do on a daily basis, and all of us can do it if we are physically capable. Okay. And walking, for me, I love walking with nature. So I go to the park, the lake. So this is something, and I'm going to do many videos on mental health. This is really, really, really good for mental health, physical health, but mental health, especially if you're in nature. So walking in nature, it is just all around good for the health. Now, okay. So I am a yoga meditation teacher. If you are being very active, you would want to stretch. So I do yoga. So there's a balance So if you are very active, then it's good to stretch things as well. So stretching is also good if you're stationary. So this is something I am doing as well, to avoid the stiffness pain. I'm doing stretches if I've been sitting too long or standing too long. Now, so there's always things that we can do with what we're already doing to get us to just get up and move more. So one of the things that I do is when I catch up with friends, we do things like go for a walk, go for a park walk. So we'll have coffee and then we'll have a walk. We'll have lunch and we'll have walk. Um, so this is becoming, most of my friends are getting onto this sort of walking active sort of catch-ups. So we do have our relaxing, have our coffee, have our lunch, but we also have the second part, which is to get walking. Funny thing, even the friends that didn't do that before are now onto that and loving that walk part of our catch up. So that's something you can already do. If you are catching up with friends, you can make it an active catch up. Okay, so okay. So one thing I wanted to highlight was, so when I used to work in the corporate field, I used to, sit down most of the day, and then I used to take that 1 hour lunch break and go for a run or go for a walk, which is more than a lot of people around me were doing. A lot of people were just walking through the lunch. So they're not having a break. They're just having their meals at the computer. Not cool, not healthy, not the way to go. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I would do that, or I'd go to the gym after work for an hour. Okay. So one thing I found interesting through a Blues interview with one of the Blue Zone researchers was, what they said was, a lot of us, would go sit down in 8 hours in the office, and then we'd go and hit the gym hard and do 1 hour or whatever, high intensity cardio, whatever, and feel and go, yes, we've done our exercise, all good. But it's not as good. Just 1 hour break compared to 8 hours of inactivity is not as healthy as we think. As opposed to what they said in the blue zones, there's no such thing as gym. There's no such thing as gym classes or high intensity or yoga or none of this stuff. Yet they're the most healthiest people in the world. And it is because they are throughout the day moving. So for example, they're going out, getting their own food, walking to wherever, they're walking to the friend's house, walking to the shops. Their lifestyle in general is active, even dancing, and I'll do another video on that. There's a social part to this as well. So they're being active, they're dancing around. So there's no, I have to go for a run, I have to go do a high intensity class. There's no such thing in the blue zones. It is just normal lifestyle. It is things they do as part of their everyday life. And it's nothing extra time like a lot of us in the modern world do, allocate extra time for exercise. So the point I'm trying to make is, even if you are doing 1 hour of intense exercise and most of the time during the day you are inactive, that is not that healthy. And I would suggest to move more throughout the day. So that's something I'm personally doing as well. Instead of just like go hard for an hour, I am sort of moving around, and I don't have to take it so hard throughout the day. Just the simple act of just moving our body is getting the blood circulation going. It's just a healthier and overall good for the body. So I think when I came across that point from the Blue Zone study, I thought that was really interesting, because I always thought, oh wow, I'm doing great because I'm hitting the gym hard for an hour straight, sweating. I'm doing great. But I did not think that, hang on, but the rest of the time I'm not very active, and that's not very good for the body. Okay, so if you are stuck in the house, there's always things you can do. So there's some really good YouTube videos on fitness. This is something I came across during COVID, because being very used to going to the gym, I couldn't go to the gym. Also being on the treatment, I couldn't get exposed to any high risk COVID areas. So I found awesome fitness videos that I found interesting on YouTube. And then I basically become a habit. I'd be doing like 15, 20, 30 minute every single day. It's like high intensity stuff. But that just makes me feel good physically and mentally as well. And recently I have bought an exercise bikes for the days when it's like storming or rain and I can't do my walks. And this is like a really, really good bike. So it gets the heart pumping, it gets the cardio, the blood circulation going. So if, whatever works for you, if you want a treadmill, if you want a bike for those days that you can't get outside. Personally, for me, and I think a lot of scientists might back this up, there's nothing like being outdoors in nature and exercising or walking in nature as opposed to inside the house or gym. I mean, gym, it's got its own benefits, but personally, what I've learned is there's nothing better than being outdoors and moving around, being outdoors. So two things: being outdoors, getting fresh air. So if you getting fresh air, sunlight. So if you're talking overall health, you cannot beat being outdoors in the sunlight, in the sunshine, getting the vitamin D's, moving, breathing in the fresh air, and in nature is even better. Okay, so that's, for me, that's the number one way, the healthiest way. But if you can't do all of that stuff, then going to the gym and just sweating is a good thing. Again, a lot of my videos are going to talk about COVID as well, because the reality is we are living in a COVID environment and we don't know when this virus is going to go away. It might be hanging around for a while. So you got to find the balance between COVID safety as well. So gym may not be the bestest place for hygiene during COVID. But if you can, if you're out there, keep clean, do the right thing with hygiene and social distancing. But personally for me, since I can't go to the gym, I found a really, really, really good way to have my high intensity workout that I love doing with my YouTube videos, plus get out there and go for my walks, because mentally, emotionally, that's it's gold. Okay, so just recapping everything, especially if you're living the modern lifestyle, the best thing, the best way we can be healthy or get healthier is to get moving. Instead of taking the car to the shops or anything nearby, walk, take a bicycle. Take a bicycle instead of a car. So try to avoid a car if you can. Simple things like shopping centers, buildings. Instead of taking the lift or the escalators, take the stairs. So I used to work for a while in a building, and I made a point of not catching the lift and just taking the stairs. And taking the stairs is a really good workout for cardios and get the blood pumping. So there's a lot of ideas. You just got to think outside the square. There's a lot of opportunities for us throughout the day to be more active. But a lot of us live in a robotic zombie-like, so we just keep doing whatever we've always done. But there is, in a lot of things we do, there is a healthier way of doing it. And moving is one of the things. There's the opportunities to move and move more that we just don't think about. Okay, so again, recapping it all in a nutshell, just move as much as you can. I get the blood pumping, and one more thing. You have to make what I've learned for myself. Whatever we do in life, everyday stuff, whatever, try to make it fun. Try to make it feel good. If anything that is not fun, it becomes a chore. And you may be motivated for a week. Yeah, I'm gonna go do this. But if you're hating it, if it's not, it's just not, you're not gonna do it for long. Okay, so it's no point doing something for 1 week. What I'm talking about is a lifestyle change. It is something you want to do for the rest of your life, not just for a week, a day, a month. That's it. It is something you just have to get into the habit of doing and make it fun. Like everything that I've learned to do in being more active, it's not a chore for me. It's actually pleasant. I'm actually enjoying it. The things that you enjoy, that find fun, that feels good, are the things that you are going to be able to do or maintain for a very long time. Whereas if things that you hate, unpleasant, it's not going to stick around for, you're not going to be able to stick to it for a long time. So with that, I'm going to end the video. Please do leave a comment if you had any feedback, and feel free to leave comments on what has worked for you. I'd love to hear ideas about other people, how they're finding it, being able to get ideas to get more active, especially living in the COVID environment. And so thanks for watching the video. And look, if you are interested in getting healthier, and I talk about the overall well-being, which is physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, spiritually, not just healthier, but feeling more balanced, more relaxed, more calmer, do subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be creating a lot of content. And a lot of it's coming from my very tough experiences, but as well as a lot of studying that I've done in the last few years, not just listening to scientists, doctors, researchers, and ancient wisdom. There's so much wisdom out there. Anyway, so feel free to subscribe to the channel, and I'll look forward to speaking to you more. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.